We're here in Galveston, Texas, starting a new GeoTrek. This one's a little different. There's a monster spring storm producing a lot of severe weather inland and a little bit east of us. Here on the coast, we have a strong onshore wind, we have big waves, we have some rain, and they could use some rain where we're going. We're going to South Texas, where the fire danger is considered critical. There's really low relative humidities and strong winds blowing over a parched landscape. We're going to see some wildfire zones again, the impacts of it, and learn how the biology and the ecosystem responds to these wildfires. We're starting here at the coast where it's humid and rainy, and we're going to where it's dry, just several hours away. This is a fun trip because we have our GeoTrek team coming together. Shaq, come on over. My man Shaquille Vaxter has joined our team. Shaq has a meteorology background and knows a ton about the weather. He's from Southeast Texas. Shaq, we're so excited to have you here as part of our team and coming on this GeoTrek with us.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Shaq always has a great attitude. He's very positive and just a good worker. We've worked on some different projects already together, and it's been a joy to work with him. So it's going to be a fun little road trip here, and we have our man Jeremiah Long here behind the camera. He's going to be joining us too. He's excited to get some Texas barbecue and see the sights and learn what's going on here on the landscape. Hey y'all, we're on a GeoTrek road trip from Galveston out to an area south of San Antonio to look at wildfire impacts and how quickly biology and ecology responds after these wildfires. We had a bit of a journey today that was quite interesting. We drove through some heavy rain. 2 hours ago, the temperature was 64 degrees with heavy rain and some heavy rain showers. Now we're on the other side of the dry line. The dry line is this boundary between moist air to the east and warm, dry air to the west. We've passed through that. Now we're in the mid 80s. So just 2 hours later, we've gone up 21 degrees. It's 85 degrees right now. We're between Bay City and Victoria, Texas, driving out sort of along the coast and then going inland towards San Antonio. We're excited to see what we find today. We know that there are red flag warnings out for much of South Texas for really low relative humidities and strong winds blowing over really a parched landscape where we're going. It's going to be so dry. We talk about these fuels. There's a lot of vegetation that grew last summer because it was a wet summer, but now we've had, during the autumn and winter, we've had a lot of drought, and so a lot of these fuels have dried out. They're ready to burn, and unfortunately we do have fires out there, active fires today, and we're going to a burn site that burned 2 weeks ago. This is Dr. Hal. I'm here in Christine, Texas. It's a little bit south of San Antonio. I was here exactly 2 weeks ago tonight at a fire. There was an 8,000 acre fire that burned 2 weeks ago. I came back to see how it's changed. You know, we did this podcast 2 weeks ago about these wildfires in Texas and really their impacts on the built environment. We're looking back at that topic and now looking at their impacts on biology and on ecology. So it's exciting. I wanted to come back to the same spot. Brought some friends with me that are part of the GeoTrek project to kind of explore the landscape and see how it's changed over time. And we also have an expert on these topics. I'm here with Dr. Kelly Lyons, who's a professor of biology at Trinity University in San Antonio. Thank you so much for coming out with us to the field.
It's a blast out here. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I could tell you are through and through a biologist because you got so giddy and excited when we pulled up to walk out into the field.
Absolutely. Especially if it's on fire. I'm going to be here.
That's right. So you've looked a lot actually at different biologies and even related to grasses and fires and things like that, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yes. We've been looking at how to control invasive species using prescribed burning.
Yeah. So what did you think when you walked into this fire zone here? You know, you hadn't been to this exact site yet. What did you think when you walked out and saw it for the first time?
Well, I was surprised how complete the burn was, but I'm also anticipating it'd be a lot more fun in a couple weeks after it rains. So.
Yeah, you know, driving here today from Galveston, I was thinking, well, it's been 2 weeks, and people say some of these fire zones are very resilient. They pop back to life. I thought that we'd be seeing a lot of grasses and greenery. We came out here and we didn't see any of that. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's a very dry environment, and so these plants are not going to respond until there's enough water in the rainfall and precipitation. That's what they're going to respond to.
Do you think it's possible that just even like one heavy shower, we would start to see some dramatic changes out here?
Absolutely. Yes, they're very responsive.
If we can just walk through here a little bit, like you had talked about how fast these fires move. So they're just moving at a really high rate of speed, just basically burning up the grasses as they go?
Well, they might move very slowly if there's not a lot of wind, but there has been a lot of wind associated with these fires, so these were fast-moving fires.
Is that why maybe they didn't burn the trees and the shrubs as extensively? Maybe we can go over to like this shrub here. It looks like it survived mostly. Is it probably the grass fire just moved through really quickly?
I'm sure these are alive, actually.
Oh, so they might have burned and died.
Yeah, these are actually pretty brittle, and they might stump sprout or come back from some of these larger branches, but these smaller branches that are up at the top are going to be dead. And I'm surprised how complete it looks on some of the larger trees as well. But we'll have to wait and see.
Do you mean just by how dark, how much they look like they're burned?
Burned, and that's probably because the fuel loads are so high that the fire was able to ladder up into where the leaves were, or the smaller finer fuels up in the tree, so they could ladder up to the top.
Let's say we got a heavy rain shower and some of these trees are alive. Would they bud and produce leaves this year, or is it possible that they're stressed and there might be a delay in that?
Yeah, it's hard to say because things are so dry and it's looking like it's going to be a dry year. But if we got good rainfall from now till May, they would likely produce leaves this year.
You've spent a lot of time in the San Antonio area, South Texas. Is this really one of the drier stretches that you've experienced in your life?
It is one of the drier stretches. Of course, 2011, 12 was worse. Yeah, a lot worse. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, we're anticipating this on a decadal basis, right? I mean, the extremes. You can't characterize this area by the average, right? We characterize it by the extremes. So we get these sort of shifts, swings going back and forth all the time. It's just they're going to be more extreme as we go.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this episode of GeoTrek. We had Professor Kelly Lyons from Trinity University and meteorologist Shaquille Vaxter. We were in a burn zone here in South Texas. Come back and join us on the next episode. Until next time, take care and thanks for watching.